Where's Gary? got a question. If you'd hear me out in your defense, you never had a chance. And so tell me straight, I won't go. This is our time now, I'm sure. Make no.
All right, hello everybody. Hello, one and all, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back once again for another exciting stream tonight. My man PR is joining me. We're going to do our Gears of War Atlantic City predictions. For those of you who don't know me, I am Christopher Deluxe Haas. And PR, man, how you feeling tonight about these predictions?
I'm feeling pretty well, pretty confident in them as well. I've been, predicting for a while, and I'd say I have a pretty good, percentage.
Pretty good feeling for it? Okay, I'm not going to lie, man. These are pretty hard. I got to throw the first thing out there is going to be that the predictions for Atlantic City, I think, are by far the hardest so far on the pro circuit. I mean, the open bracket and even the pro teams, they're really closely matched. So I'm excited to see who you pick. I don't know who PR picked, so our picks are going to be live. They're going to be anonymous, and we'll see how close we are pretty much.
Right.
All right, well, before we do that, folks, as you know, these are predictions, they're opinions. So what I've done here is I come up with a little bit of a disclaimer for those of you in the chat who want to blow me up right now. Boom! Disclaimer. These are our predictions, right? Our opinions. They do not determine who wins. No bearing on the event, really, except for to get maybe in your head a little bit. So please don't get salty. Don't blow us up on Twitter. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. But we'll probably respond with, hey, what I think. Either way.
Or not at all.
Or not at all. Yeah, or block, whatever you want to do. Either way, though, getting into it, we're going to kick off the predictions. We're going to start with the open bracket. So for those of you, basically what I've been doing over the past couple days on Twitter is compiled all the teams from the open bracket that have sent me their rosters. They hit me up in DMs or tweeted me, whatever it may be. If you're not on this list, it's because you didn't tweet me or hit me up, and I don't know offhand your team name or your roster, so don't feel like I left you out or I'm overlooking you or whatever. Pretty much, if you didn't hit me up, I didn't put you on here. So here's a list. If you want to check it out, you can go to tinyurl.com/gearsac. You can look at the rosters and team names for the open bracket teams. I know, PR, you're looking at it right now pretty much, right?
Yep.
All right. So, PR, I'm going to ask you to start me off here. Give me your thoughts on the open bracket, and then if you could go into your loser side and your winner side, what do you got coming out of there? Talk about maybe some of the teams or rosters, whatever you want. Just kick me off. I'll come in after you.
I really think this is one of the most stacked open brackets. Like you said, this event has some of the fiercest competition I think we've had, in Gears of War in general, not just Gears of War 4. I think in Gears of War in general, that literally half these teams can beat each other. And so with that said, it comes down to game day. Who's going to show up and play on game day? So I'm going to start off with my 4 from winners.
All right.
So my 4 from winners, I have Vitality, I have Illicit Gaming, which is Strain Gang, Warpath, and Panda Gaming, which is the old Vex squad.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, PR. You know what I'm going to tell you right now?
What?
I have the exact same 4 from winners. With the exception that Warpath is no longer Warpath. They are Pedro, Juan, Jose. So, Warpath has been gone for a little while now. I have the exact same winner. I thought you wouldn't put Vitality in there. I thought you put a different team. But I'm pretty...
No, I've been watching Vitality as much as I can. Sometimes they stream actually, and they actually beat up on some of these NA teams, and it's hilarious because everyone says this stuff about EU this, EU that, but when I actually watch Vitality play, they have that cross play style, but then on Reclaim, for an example, they're really aggressive and they smack these teams in the mouth, and I'm actually really excited to see them play.
Yeah, and then they won the EU 2K last week. We know they've had LAN experience. They didn't play awful when they were at the last esports Gears event. They beat some teams. They played pretty well. I mean, they had a lot to overcome, so definitely something to look forward to. So the same exact winners for me and you, pretty much. Vitality, Illicit Gaming, Pedro, Juan, Jose. For those of you who don't know, Illicit Gaming is they were Extortion. That's Strangulate's team. The team Strangulate's on, and they changed to Illicit Gaming recently. They got the org. And then Panda Gaming, is the old Vex roster. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to run down. Just look at the teams list real quick. I'm going to go over some of these teams. Just go down the list. Kind of give you guys a little bit of a feeling for whatever you want to see. All right. So University Esports. I guess I'll kind of give you my thoughts as I go down. University. I think going over to the loser side of the bracket now. I think University is not completely out of it. They played okay in some of the 2Ks. I've watched a couple of their scrims, a couple of their GB matches. I think they have a shot at getting into loser side. Not in my bottom, not in my four. My four from losers are not in the four, but I think they're not completely out of it. Same thing with the reactive esports, with a team like Ferocity and even Sour Gaming. I think they also have a chance to get in there. Those again are not. They're not in my four though. But I think if you're going to talk about like upsets maybe or teams coming out of loser side that I don't have in my four, that would be it. Requiem has also been playing pretty well online. They've won some amateur events. They haven't beaten really the pro teams when they face them. So again, that's Starbright, Solids, Baker, Venom, Willcare, and who else? Voxility, Manual, Tidy, Toddy, Envy's Proceed. So this is one of my four teams I think will come out of loser side. I'm going to go and tell you my loser picks, PR. Voxility is going to be Manual, Tidy, Toddy, Envy, Proceed. I think Render I'm putting in there to come out of losers. They're scary to me because I think they can make it, but I also think they could be upset by any one of those teams I mentioned. Even ODY, Rep Solid, Flash, Blast, Supplements, Suppliants, and Zen. ODY actually beat, I think, Extortion and beat the old Vex roster, now Panda Gaming, in one of the 2Ks. So ODY is another team that could kind of upset if you're looking out for them. But don't have my top four. My four coming out of losers, I have Voxility, I have Render. A tough call on Render, though. I think I'm going to say they're making it, but I'm not like 100% sold on that one. I think Raw Talent comes out of loser side just from the experience of Immortal Spawn. Cubano have been playing together so long. Mence is like, Mence is Mence. He's pretty good player overall, all around. And then Twista and Big Mark have that chemistry already back when they were on Avalanche together and they've been playing together for a while. So I think Raw Talent, off experience at LAN and be able to keep their composure, I think they will make it out. And then my fourth team out of losers is going to be a team which I was very close to putting them on winner's side. Very close. And then that's Fable. So Fable is a team, as you know, Prospect. It's going to be Prospect, Flames, JP, Octanes, and Supremos. I think they play very well on Fight Night. They've been working together. They're all pretty local to each other. And I almost put them on winner's side. But with Vitality, Illicit Gaming, Pedro Juan Jose, and Panda, I just think they're a little bit better than what Fable will be. So with that being said, those are my losers, guys. Fable, Raw Talent, Render, Voxility, with a bunch of other teams in the running for maybe pulling off an upset on one of those four teams.
So I'm gonna jump in and talk about the losers or the open bracket losers. But before I do, I'm just gonna talk about the teams that I know of that weren't mentioned, like for the pool play ones, our four from pool play. I'm gonna start off with Fable. I've actually seen this team. I know they played Ghost and they have what it takes. I think they just lacking a little bit of the escalation aspects of like when to rotate and stuff. But that video from Prospect explained it like so well. I don't remember. I know it was on a Fight Night how he's like, you just got to chip away at these situations one at a time. And I think that gap from when I did watch them till now, I think they cleaned that up. And I played a Prospect a little bit, and I know he's more of like I don't want to say a perfectionist, but he's always figuring out ways to have his players improve. An example of like you could be in a 1v3 and your teammates are on the other side of the map. It's like I got one kill. He's like, come on, you can do better. He motivates you in a different way, and I think he's gonna bring that out of the rest of the veterans like Flames, Octane, Supremos, and JP. The next team is Raw Talent, and one thing I will say about Raw Talent is they'll never, ever, in my opinion, be known as the team that has skill or anything like that.
Oh, but man, shots fired.
But with that said, they always showing up when it matters. Like if you think about it, when they came back in Gears 3, people doubted them. Who so much.
Beat? They beat in the 2K. Who did they beat? Echo Fox or somebody? Who was it? They beat a big team one day.
I don't remember which one, but I agree. They did beat a good team. Maybe Allegiance. I think it was Allegiance.
Yeah, Allegiance. I think it was Allegiance or Echo Fox. Don't quote me 100%, but they definitely beat a big name team in one of those 2Ks.
But backing out 3, when they stopped playing, I'm talking about when they stopped playing after Hyperstation, they came back, they got top 8 again. If you look at UE, they didn't have the most impressive showing in UE, but I think they only played one event, then stopped. And you come back to Gears 4, they got top 16 at Columbus. They went to London, they performed decently, and so I think this team's actually going to be better than anyone expects.
Yeah.
Next team is Ferocity Esports. I'm really interested how this team's going to do.
Are these your top 4, by the way, or for losers?
No, these are just teams I'm excited to watch. Ferocity. I'm just big friends of Kirill's, and I just want to see Kirill's do well. I haven't seen them play too much. And I'm trying to think like who else. Starbrights. Here's one I'll talk about. Requiem. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
Starbrights, but it's about Starbrights does a lot of talking in the community.
Oh,
I
we know we're
personally
around for this.
have not like really seen Requiem play. I know they have their amateur tournaments, but I think anything short of top 16 is a complete failure and is
Really?
just a
Wow.
complete
There's a lot of good
embarrassment to
teams though.
Starbrights for the but it's just you can't talk that much and
But a lot of
fail
his
to back
talking,
it up.
yeah, but a lot of his talking is about like his individual skill. I
I
mean,
know
not
the
not
amount of times I've seen him
his team
say
really.
my team, my team, my team. You
Yeah,
never beaten my team. You never beat. Well, it's your time to prove it. Like I said, I have no opinion on the skill level. I don't really know.
I give him a
I'm just
shot too.
thinking
I give him a
he
shot to come
has
out
to back it
losers.
up.
I give,
If he doesn't back it up at the event, to me it's just a complete disappointment.
but to go along with what you're saying, not to cut into what you're saying really, but to touch again for everybody just tuning in, everybody just getting here. I mean, look at the roster right here. Look at these teams. Go to the link tinyurl.com/gearsac. I mean, these are our predictions, but like, there's so many teams who could come out and could upset. And like Ferocity, like you said, I don't have them coming out, but Kirill's, Poseidon, Candy, Knowledge, Immortal. I mean, those guys of course can do something to play well. I'm pretty sure. Even every FYC is coming back for an event. They were a long-time Gears of War team. I mean, the roster is totally different, but I'm just saying, you never know, man. You never know back.
Yeah.
When you get to the event, what's going to happen?
And it all depends on seeding, like you said, because like
Yeah.
depending on some of these teams, like I know like some of these teams didn't have a good Columbus and they didn't travel to the other ones, so they don't have seeding points. So that's going to play a huge factor here that people don't realize. Some of these big hitting teams don't have as many seeding points as some people think. So you might have, a Fable going up against raw talent, because I know Supremo's prospect, I don't think any of these guys have placed in the top 16, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think
so they're not
yeah.
going to have as many seeding points as a raw talent. So we could have a Fable raw talent to get into the championship bracket.
I think Fable has placed top 16. I think they did last week, and maybe even more. Same thing with.
No, I'm talking about like at the events.
Oh, at the event, okay.
Because I know Men's has a lot of seeding points. Cubano has a decent amount. I think all these guys on Raw Talent have a decent amount compared to them only doing good in 2Ks and not really showing up to the lands because they didn't really think they were playing or what have you. So I think you can have like a Fable Raw Talent to get into the championship bracket, and that's what these people aren't realizing. Like, yes, these teams are doing good in 2Ks, but compared to the teams that have the land seeding points, brackets are going to be something. I want to see these brackets.
Yeah, and like I think Illicit had the #1 seed for Open, which was Extortion. And I don't know if they have it still or not. I know there was some kind of thing going on with them where they might have lost their seed, or I'm not sure if it got fixed or not. But if they are the #1 seed, that's a big advantage for them, I think, for sure, coming out. I mean, they're already one of my top 4 teams in the Open bracket. So, yeah, seeding will definitely be a big factor, bracketing, which is why a lot of these teams I mentioned who I don't have in my top 8 from Open could make it in there. If they play the right people, they play the wrong people, it's going to determine what happens pretty much. But continue with your losers.
Okay, let me see.
Not losers.
Well, I'm just gonna quickly name my 4. Like I said, I think there might be like a raw talent Fable or something like that. So that's why it's gonna be hard. But I'm thinking Fable. Let me look at the teams again. See, I haven't seen this manual team play. See, this is actually pretty stacked. Like, now that I'm actually looking at it.
I know. Even the teams I didn't mention.
So I'll even
good.
go ahead and say Fable, Raw Talent. See, I already got them coming out in winners. I might have to give it to Starbrights to come out. Just because we don't have the full team list.
Eating your words now.
And then manual. Well, I mean, getting out of Open doesn't give you top 16.
That's true.
Nor does it give you in the money. You still have to prove it past that.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy now that I'm really like looking at. I was looking at this team before, and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, because like I really haven't seen a ton of these teams play. I'll be honest, I have not, and I watch a lot of streams, so that's making me wonder like, how are there this many teams playing, and I haven't really seen any streams of these people.
Yeah, I mean, even you look at a team like I mentioned, Respawn, right? Respawn is going to be Body the Tyrant, Chromatic, Energetics, who pops off on LAN.
Yep.
Nightfall Fame. If Energetics plays Starbrights on LAN again, oh my god,
that's going to be a big one.
I want Periscope to watch that at least.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there recording something, hopefully.
But like the Open's much harder to do than since we don't have a bracket, the Open's much harder to do than it would be for we're going to do pool play. So these are just our thoughts. Like I said, my loser side is pretty scattered, but like my winners, I feel like no matter who they play, they should come out on the winner side.
Yeah, I agree
those
with you
teams are like
100%
sure
on that. I feel like the the skill difference, and it's not even like individual skill, and it's not even so much as a team being better than another team. I think it's overall like decision making in the moment, because I've seen teams scrim and I've seen teams in the 2K, and I feel like there's already that difference, and that's online alone. And so you compare the online 2Ks to actually playing on LAN, where these people can look at you, stare at you, yell at you.
I
You
know.
have the crowd shouting, and then you know, depending on how far you get, you got main stage. And if I see that difference between online scrims and online tournament matches, there's going to be that difference on LAN. And
Yeah.
so I just,
And you look at like Pedro Juan Jose, you know, they already have LAN experience together. They've been playing well online. I'm a little. It was a little scary last week the way they played against Echo Fox. Not very well. Best of one, but not very well in their match versus Echo Fox. Before that, they took E United to the limit, 7-5, third map. They best of one, 7-6 against Optic. They lost. They won the California LAN. You know, not many pros there, but no full pro teams. But I think Pedro Juan Jose, if that's actually going to be their team name, we'll see when we get there. But that's
Yeah.
what they've been playing under. You know, they should have no problem unless they, I don't know, a mental issue happens pretty much. That's winners game, but we're on losers still.
yep. So I mean, and do they get seeded against the fourth best pool play team, or is that what it is? Or
Well,
that's I don't remember the bracket how it was in Columbus.
well, the 4 winners go into pool play. So the 4 winner side teams that we're picking, so we pick Vitality, Illicit, Pedro Juan Jose, Panda. They're going to go into pool play. So so they're going to be seeded in each pool based on, I guess the 4th seed would go, the 4th team would go to the Optic pool, and the 3rd team would go to the, you know what I mean? That's how it works.
Oh,
I think.
you know, I'm talking about the 4 losers brackets. So the 4 losers bracket teams will play against the 4th place pool play teams.
Yes, right.
Okay,
And
that's what I was wondering.
losers round 1.
Okay.
Losers round 2 is the 3rd place pool teams.
Oh my God, this tournament! Because now I'm looking at Columbus's bracket and how the teams went from like open to stuff. Oh my God, this is crazy because this is just gonna be upset city, especially on the loser side. This is gonna be upset city.
It's going to be hard to get like anywhere near correct predictions, but you know that's what we're having a little fun. So we'll do that. So give me the rest of your loser stuff and give me your losers 4 teams if you can at the end.
One thing I will say is like, and this is like full bias, people are gonna say is like I've watched, you know, No Tolerance play. I've watched Funky Bunch play as well. Those are 2 teams right there. I think if they're having an on tournament and they're playing their best, I feel like those 2 teams alone can upset teams. And then somebody mentioned it in chat. It's a team that's not on here. Sensors team.
Oh, they're not on here, huh?
Sensors team that's something I want to watch play because at Columbus I've heard so much about him. I didn't get to see him play. I played with him a little bit online, but then you know I didn't get a chance to play with him again. So I want to see how Sensors team does.
Well, they did well in, was it Mexico City or London? Which one did they do well in?
I think it was Mexico City.
Yeah, I've never seen the team. I didn't get their roster, so I don't have them on here unfortunately. But anyway, we'll keep them in mind as our possible team to break in the loser side.
So I'll take Fable, Raw Talent, Ferocity, and I want to give it to Starbrights with Requiem, but I guess I'll just give it to him just because we don't have the full team list. I'll give it to him.
Yeah. Oh, you don't think any of the other, like I said, I mean, not to try and sway your picks, but Render, I mean, Voxility, Reactive.
Voxility,
I don't know.
I think these are newcomers right now, and I think what was that team that went? I think it was the LOX team that went to Columbus. I think if Manuel can't do it with those guys, I think it's going to be the same. I'm not saying these guys are better or worse. I just think it's going to be the same. I haven't really seen them play, and I know Tidy, Toady, and MBs are like goons in the game, as people would call, like little online warriors that are
sure.
trying
They're
to break
young guys.
out to LAN, because I know they're very, very skilled. I just don't see it when it comes to tournament time.
Okay. All right. So just before we move on from the open bracket, what we think, just give me your winners and losers again, and I'll give you my little thoughts, and then we'll move on to the pool play.
Winners: Vitality, Illicit Gaming, which, you know, Strain Gang, Pedro Juan Jose, Warpath, whatever you guys know him as, and then Panda Gaming, the old Vex squad. I don't know if you guys want to know him as. And then the losers, I got Fable, Raw Talent, Ferocity, and Requiem.
All right, and I have the same winners. I have Vitality, Illicit Gaming, Pedro Juan Jose, Panda Gaming, and then the losers, I have Fable, Raw Talent, and then Render, Voxility with question marks next to them. I just don't, not that they're not good, but there's, I have 6 other teams that could fill those last 2 spots on my list. Which, ODY, Ferocity, University, Requiem, Reactive, Respawn. I think any of those 8 teams could fill the last 2 spots, which is crazy to say. I mean, it's too much, really.
Right there with you. I think this is going to be the closest thing, and it to me, as like someone who doesn't have to worry about it anymore, like as a coach, it's very like it's no stress on me. But like if I was playing right now and I was really sitting down and looking at the teams in the open, I'm thinking like, damn, who would I rather play against? Because it's just like I would rather play against the easy team at first, get my warm ups in, and then I don't care who I play after that. But I'm thinking like, who's the easy team? Like I don't even know. No, I don't think there's very many easy teams that are going to be there that is on this list.
I don't think so. I don't think so either, man. But good luck to you over there. I'll be watching it from home. I'll be watching you guys do your thing out there. So good luck to your team. We're going to get into pools in just 1 second. Let me change over the graphic real quick. Got to do this all myself, no production here. Right, we're going to go. We're going to go.
The pool play ones, those are the fun ones.
Yeah. All right, getting into pool play. What we're doing now. Change this over real quick, sorry. Where's that thing at? I can't find it, to be honest with you. I can't find it. PR.
Just open up Paint, and there you go.
I got it. Okay, right.
Okay.
Boom. Pools. Look at that. Production. All right, so we're into pools, my friend. We're going to start with Group A. I don't know if you have them in front of you. They are on the stream if you don't have them in front of you, pretty much. But do you want to start with the 4th place team and work our way up, or you want to start with the 1st and work your way down? What do you think is better? 1st? Probably 1st, right?
I want to do this one different than the other ones just because of the E6 Gosu.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I just want to just flat out say it. Just this one, I just want to flat out say it just because I have Panda Gaming coming into this pool because with the 4 teams I chose from winners, they're the 4th seeded team.
Okay.
Because I think Warpath is seeded before them, and then Vitality is seeded number 1. I heard Vitality was number 1.
You gotta stop saying Warpath, man. You get people
Pedro Juan Jose.
Pedro Juan Jose.
That's how I know. That's how I know him as. But yeah, Pedro Juan Jose. So I have Panda Gaming coming in this pool. So I think it's very. I think with the matchup between E6 and Gosu, because we all know, and you guys can hate on me if you think otherwise, Optic Game is going to 3-0 this pool. So I don't think anybody's going to disagree.
I'm going to put your PR number 1 next to Optic Gaming. I'm going to also join you over there in the number 1 spot with Optic because I'm just a betting man. And let's go over here. Boom.
And the reason why I want to do this one different is because that grudge match between E6 and Gosu, and people see Fatal Strike and they're like, they shit on whatever team he's on, right? But I've seen Fatal Strike in tournament time. I've seen him in scrims against many other teams. People don't realize how much VOD I actually watch, and I think these 2 teams are pretty evenly matched. I think losing Crushmo for Enigma 6, they lost a lot of slaying power, and I don't think Phenomenon can replicate Crushmo's slaying power. I don't think it's anywhere near close. And I don't really care what anybody says differently. Crushmo can slay. He may not be dedicated, is what I hear. He may not be this. He may not. But Crushmo is a slayer, and he gets it done. But with that said, in my opinion, that's what makes them even. So I think MLG or UGC that is holding this tournament needs to have E6 play Gosu before any of them play Optic. Because I think as soon as Optic plays Gosu and smashes them, that they're not at 100% anymore.
Yeah, well, I know
I think that's going to give E6 the edge because that's the order of things they're going to go in. It's going to be Optic versus E6, and then E6 versus Gosu, and then then Optic versus. I said it backwards. Optic versus Gosu, and then E6 versus Gosu, and then E6 versus Optic. And I don't like that because. When you're really thinking about what to put on the stream or what to put in order, because I know these are hand-picked matches, somebody had to pick these matches.
Right.
You need to put this one first.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the schedule for E6 versus Gosu, but I don't know if it's. I want to say
it's after
Optic
Optic,
though.
Yeah, Optic is going to play Gosu before, and to me, if I was behind the desk looking at this would probably be my opener match or my second headliner match or whatever, and just don't even do a Group A match at 4 p.m.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Since we had that stream too, everybody else is watching for other reasons too, to see who pops off pretty much at the end of their match. Eternity, Fatal, or whatever it may be.
Ryan said Optic plays, and I'm just including Ryan. I'm just trying to see because the schedule I looked at was a little different, but it could have changed.
Okay.
But either way, I think these two teams need to play each other first before they play Optic, because Optic, like I said, is going to 3-0 the pool no matter what.
Okay.
So please, somebody change this if
So
anybody's watching.
that being said, I didn't go into all the detail of putting the open bracket specific teams in there. I just know it's an open bracket team. So I don't have like Panda or Pedro, or I don't have a specific team I put in here. I just picked off of like general, like can the open team beat these teams pretty much. So my number 2 pick for the pool in verse pretty much it's coming down to Enigma 6 versus Gosu Crew, because I think they'll be able to hold off the open teams. I think, you never know, I guess. But I'm gonna go and put my number 2 at Enigma 6. I'm going to say E6 can beat Gosu. I know you said about Crushmo, which I don't completely disagree with. Obviously, he's a big slayer, a big name. He's performed well, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think E6 has played. I don't think since they got rid of him or he left or whatever you may say, I think they have played actually a little bit better, or at least even or a little better.
Okay.
So judging off that, and I don't know, just Eternity's fire maybe of what's going to happen when he gets to the land. And he sees
I think
Fatal.
Eternity's going to be consistent.
Same thing with
He's
Fatal too.
gonna
They're,
go
they're
off.
both going to be going off probably. They're both going to be like just super into the game. But I think E6 will have a little more, probably third map, take it 2 maps to 1 in their matchup, and I think they're going to finish second in the pool. And then I'm going to put Gosu at third, which means the open team that comes out, I'll put them down here at fourth.
Panda, fourth?
Panda, I don't know who's
Panda.
going to be for sure. I mean, I don't have an order they're going to finish. I don't have like that far of a prediction. I just know one of those 4 teams will finish in there. And if, to be honest, the open team, they might be able to make some waves, whoever it is anyway. Like, I'm not totally sold on Ghost 3, open 4. I might be switch it around maybe. I don't know. Yep. I think the open teams are all pretty good. Those are my 4 though. Give me your 2 to 4 now.
So I had Optic 3-0, and I actually had, and I really thought about this, and it's crazy. All of these 3 teams are going to tie 1 and 2, and it's
Wow.
going to come down to maps.
So give me
tiebreaker. I think Panda's going to beat Gosu, but lose to Optic and E6. E6 is going to beat Gosu, but lose to Panda and Optic, and then Gosu's going to beat I think it was Panda, then lose to E6 and Optic.
Yeah, well, you totally ruined my.
But I think it's
layout
going to
here
come
now.
down. I think it's going to come down to maps exactly. But just for the sake of layout, I have E6 2, Gosu 4, and then open third.
Okay, yeah. So pretty similar to what I have. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, PR, anything else you want to touch on in that pool? I mean, pretty straightforward, I think, right?
Yeah, but just whoever's listening from the studio, please, E6 versus Gosu first, main stage. Thank you.
Don't worry, nobody's listening right now. They're all either flying or they have me muted right now. One of the two. But let me move these back over real quick. My production's getting there. It's not the best in the world, but it's getting there. Let's go Lux. Boom. Okay, now we're going to go on. Pool Group B. We're going to go Group B. So Pool B, Group B, whatever you want to say. Boom. Team Envious. Ghost Gaming, which is your team, we know. Splice and the open bracket team. Another tough decision. For me, I'll just go first. Obviously, to most people, what you'll probably pick, no offense to UPR, you got to put Envy number 1 in this pool. And then we get to Ghost Gaming versus Splice. Now, this was tough for me because I think, despite Ghost having their communication problems recently, or not being, all on the same page like I think they should be at this point, they still have a chance to beat Splice. They still have a chance to beat the open bracket team. So it just came down for me to my personal opinion, what I think from watching both teams, Ghost and Splice, over the past few weeks. What's going to happen? And I had to put Splice at number 2. So I got Splice and Envy coming out of the Pool B, with Ghost finishing third. If I can get that over here, we'll do it real quick. Ghost coming out third. I think, again, it could be very close. And then the open team, I'm going to leave at fourth. But, hey, the open teams, man, they could all prove me wrong. No idea if they can come out and beat either. I mean, Ghost and Splice and Envy is pretty tough for the open teams, I think.
I agree.
Would you agree?
Yeah,
Right.
especially since like the way the seating, like no matter if Vitality is second and Strang's first and Illicit Gaming's first, Vitality's second. It doesn't matter which one it is. If me and you have the same predictions, Warpath will be in this pool, or Pedro Juan
If
Jose
you say
will be in
Warpath one
this
more
pool.
time, I'm throwing you off
Uh,
digitally off the show. That's it.
that's all right. I'll survive.
All right. Well,
But Pedro Juan Jose should be in this pool if we pick the same ones. But I'm not even gonna say really too much about this pool. My guys know what they're capable of. I know what my guys are capable of, and online's online, and I know that transfers over to LAN to an extent.
yeah.
But people don't realize the distractions that my team goes through compared to some of these teams. Like Speedy has his family, not Speedy. Rushies has his family coming into his room, bugging him while he's playing, and Speedy the same and all that. But I'm just going to go ahead and say my boys can beat Envious. Just
Wow.
my boys can
Now,
beat Splice. My
I
boys
put-
can beat whatever team comes from open.
I put NV1, Ghost 2, Splice 3, PR4 for your predictions. I know you're not going to say your probably prediction, but.
But even in my video, I was like, I'm not going to talk about my team. I'm just going to go with what the crowd would think and say NV1 goes second, Splice third, Pedro Juan Jose fourth, because I don't want to talk about my team because I know what they're capable of. And if I talk about what I know my guys are capable of, it's going to be a biased opinion.
All right. Well, I do think they have. I mean, I talked about Rushies for a long time being. I thought like from UE to Gears 4, like most improved, up and coming, etc. Sleepy for a long time, been a great player. I think. I mean, from their tweets recently, it seems like they were going to be focused and ready to bang out. So we'll find out. These are our thoughts. We can't really predict anything other than like these are all really good teams, and we'll find out in Atlantic City.
Yep.
So I'm gonna move these off the bracket here now. Back over to my little section below. Deluxe coming over here. Boom. Boom. Boom and boom. All right, we're going to go to Pool C in 1 second.
I do think these pools are like something else, though, because I think every pool in its own way is like evenly matched.
Boom.
If that makes any sense.
Pool C, or Group C, whatever you want to say. E United, Echo Fox, Epsilon, open bracket team. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first? I might have to go first in this one. I'm not
You
sure.
can go ahead and go first, because this
right.
one was just a funny one to me.
This right here, I'm about to make. I don't know if you can call it a bold prediction or call it whatever you want. You'll see my kind of theme throughout the rest of the stream. But my thoughts on this one, I could be totally wrong. I could be right, whatever it may be. I have my number one going undefeated in the pool. Oh, wait a minute. Number one pick in this pool is going to be Echo Fox. I think Echo Fox could be the team to not that it's a huge upset or anything like against the United, but I think they could be the team to kind of surprise people. I watched him play recently. When Crushman gets to land, when he gets off that like Canadian whatever bad connection he has, it's terrible. When he gets to land, as long as he performs and doesn't get into too much crazy stuff, Kyle, KO, Crash. These guys are like this individual skill on the team is a lot. Which same thing with United. But I just feel like Kyle's extra hungry now too, and I think Echo Fox will be able to edge out United just by a little bit, But I'm putting them number one, and I put United number two. Obviously coming behind Echo Fox, Epsilon. They have the ability to upset people. I think they're actually a very good team. But with Echo Fox and United, I think they're both better than Epsilon. So I'll put Epsilon at 3, if I can do that. And then 4, open bracket team. Again, could be shocking the world here. A lot of open bracket teams, but you never know. So I'm going to put it at 4. PR, your Group C.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I'm just laughing and smiling to my face because I honestly have Echo Fox getting first in the pool as well.
Wow.
I think God Plays is a really good player, and he is a huge slayer that I think anybody else dropping Excels for, I'd be okay with it. But I think Excels controls traffic a little bit better than people on that team. I don't really know what happened between them, and I've noticed United's been in a semi of a slump. I know they made it to the finals of a Wednesday night fight, and I know they're still up there and everything, but I just think Echo Fox is going to come and smack people in the mouth. I think people are going to sleep on Echo Fox, and when I say sleep, I don't think they think Echo Fox sucks. I
Right.
just think they have the edge over Echo Fox, so they're not thinking too much about it. And I think Echo Fox is going to show up, smack United in the face, smack Epsilon in the face, smack the open bracket team in the face, and just walk away with a 3-0 in their pool.
Yeah, that's what I have them at too. I mean, again, these are hard picks though. I mean, I can't really at all the pools and open bracket teams. It's like if one of them, like if Epsilon comes and finishes like second in the pool or whatever, I'm not shocked by anything pretty much. You know what I mean? These are just my predictions of what I think's gonna happen. But like, there's such a close skill between all these teams. It's really a really tough job for us. But my thoughts are that I'm putting you number one, gonna be Echo Fox though. Number two, what do you got? United.
United. And then
Yep.
here's where it kind of mixes up. I think if Illicit Gaming ends up in this pool, they're going to finish third and Epsilon's fourth. But if Vitality ends up in this pool, I don't really know the EU versus EU matchup. But, I have Epsilon beating Vitality just because I've watched a little bit more Epsilon than I have Vitality.
Yeah, I mean they're both good teams. I do think Epsilon has the advantage over them as well if they play them. But we'll see who gets in the pools. We don't know yet until we get to the event or the stream. Those are Group C thoughts. And move that out of here and get ready for Group D, which is actually what I say the fun pool. PR.
Yeah, when I first saw this on Wednesday Night Fight, this pool, I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
Very
Like
weird.
and people might think this is a free pool for Allegiance too. That's the sad part. Not a knock on Allegiance, but like don't underestimate Excels. I've made it a rule since Gears of War 3 and the beginning, and never bet against Excels. That's something you'll never do safely.
Funny you're gonna say that because I'm gonna go and give my picks for this pool, and it's gonna be man, people are gonna tweet and hate and all whatever you want, but they were formerly Redemption, now they're Hazard, Excels, Rezik, Detox, Frag Out, and who am I missing there? Strafey. Put them at
Mhm.
one. Excels on land is a monster, you know that. Rezik, I saw him play in California at the California land, even though it was a local. Individually, he played really well for his team. They almost beat that former Warpath team in like a 2-1, I think it was a map count. So Rezik there. Frag Out. People forget about Frag Out. What him and Speedy did at first when Bot Empire came out, first event. So people forget about like Frag Out and Speedy and like think they kind of fell off or whatever. But no, they've been doing their thing. It's just they haven't gotten the right team yet. Strafey to me is the guy who, if he plays well, like really well, that could be like the cherry on top. Like because I'm kind of iffy. Like I think he's good, but I don't like he's like the most unproven to me so far. Going forward, Detox, I've seen a lot of him online recently, and he used to be formerly on that Vex squad as well. So I think on LAN he will show up, and I think Hazard will take it. I think Allegiance will be second. I could see them coming first, but I'm going to put him for my prediction's sake at second right here. And then I will go pretty much the open bracket team, I think, will come out third. And Grim Gamey, who can also do something, used to be Force, it's Domes, Rosado, that squad. Again, they could upset people too, but I'm just going for my predictions here. I'm going to go with the open bracket team getting third and them getting fourth. What do you got, Pierre?
I'm just laughing because I really thought our opinions are going to be a little different. But, like I said, I made it a rule, never bet against Excels, especially since Excels, like you said, he's not playing with any slouches. He's playing with Detox, Strafey, Frag Out, and Ray. No, not Ray Zill.
Wait, Detox, Strafey, Frag Out, Rezik, Excel.
Rezik. Rezik is what I was forgetting. And it's funny because I was literally just talking about him with somebody. If these guys can all play to their full potential with Excels, who I thought like when I played with Excels, especially like online tournaments and stuff, I felt like Excels made me play a little bit better. Like he controlled the traffic, he controlled the comms, and he made it where like I just had to focus on doing what I had to do, and that was fine with me. That's what I mean. And with that said, I can't bet against this guy because if he can lift me up and I'm shit, then he should be able to lift these guys who are really good. And so I have Excel's team getting first, Allegiance team getting second. Just like you said, I think Grim Gaming's going to be fourth, and since I have Vitality ending up in this pool, I have Vitality getting third.
All right.
I just think the Grim Gaming, I think they lack that that franchise. They lack that mental. They lack the player that can literally do everything for them. I think some of these
I
players
gotta say
can't
though,
necessarily do everything. I think they lack that guy.
to go on that, Rosado recently though, I don't know what he's on, but he's been going off. So I don't know if he's gonna show up like that big on game day or not. Not to say the rest of the team isn't that good. Domes as well. So Domes and Rosado. I know Domes really passionate about the game. I heard him talking a little bit in his stream sometimes. He's saying like, they kind of know they're gonna be picked to be third or fourth in their pool. They don't think anybody's picking them, I guess, to be first or second. So with that, they're like, we gotta go there and we gotta show up and we gotta play well and we gotta just basically shut everybody up. So they're playing with that on their minds. It might help them, it might not, but I'm not gonna put them in there just yet. But if they do well, if they surprise me, then I will not be. Well, I guess I'll not be surprised.
I'm same way. I honestly think, like I said, my group D and C with the open bracket team, I think it doesn't really matter too much if Vitality and Illicit Gaming end up in switching. I think it's still going to be the same result though. I just and the reason why I say that is I was talking about what Force lacks. I think a lot of people sleep on Strang, and I think Strang's really like underrated in people's opinions. And I just think he has a very poor attitude when it comes to like playing. But after talking to him, he has a passion for it, and he has certain expectations. And when you don't meet that expectations, that's when you get his poor attitude. So I mean, as long as you just do what you need to do, you'll never have a problem with Strang. And he can slay, he can lead, he can cross. He's very underrated, except for that poor attitude.
Yeah, you've also seen what he did with Revenge at first. He has like the I don't want to call it the Strang factor, but like he definitely brings people together, I think. And then when they play the pro teams, I don't know. I mean, can they hang with the pro teams? We'll see. But when they play most of the amateur teams and maybe the lower ranked pro teams like a Grim Gaming or another lower ranked pro team, I think they can compete with those guys for sure. So we'll find out. Come Atlantic City, Gears of War, 31st this weekend. But anyway. It's going to be time to go to our final predictions, which will be our top 12 PR.
Oh, top 12. Damn, we're going that far.
Let me get the graphics going. Let me get the graphic going here first. Let me pull it up real quick. Top 12. Where are you, top 12? Boom, 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 boom. All right.
Oh, man.
Where is it? Did I get rid of it? Oh, I got it right here. Okay.
Probably.
Top 12. Coming at you live, as Guy Blaze would say. So I guess I'm going to start it off, and we're going to go bottom to top. I'm going to go with my 12, and then you go with your 12, and et cetera, so on and so forth. So, that being said, let me talk about 4 teams who I don't have in the top 12 that I put at the 13 through 16 rank. I think they could make it from 10 to 12, but I didn't put them in there. So, pretty much my 10 through 16 is kind of a toss-up. These are just what I gathered based on my research and how teams have been playing, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't have Grim Gaming in top 12. I don't have Vitality in top 12. I don't have Gosu in top 12. And my 12th pick, to be honest, it's a cop-out. It's a cop-out of a 12th pick. You'll see why in a second. Because I couldn't, it was so hard to decide on who to pick for 12th. I had to go with a cop-out pick. And that's going to be, as I update it right now. Boom. Illicit/Panda. Illicit or Panda. I don't know which one of these two I'm putting in there for sure. But I think Illicit, this team we just talked about, Strang. And then Panda being the old Vex roster, the young guys, they've been pretty much playing very well. They pretty much dominated or beaten pretty handily the amateur teams. And then the pro teams they've had kind of a little bit of trouble with when you're playing teams like NV Optic and the higher ranked pro teams. I do think one advantage that Panda has is that they have scrimmed the pro teams so much as opposed to a lot of the other open bracket teams or a lot of the other amateur teams. So that might give them an advantage coming in here. And then Illicit we already know about. So I'm going to put them both at 12 as my cop-out pick. With those other teams I mentioned kind of maybe getting in there. So give me your 12 right now.
What, the whole 12 or just the 4 through...
Just give me...
Or just a 12th spot?
Just a 12 spot. We're going to go from bottom to top.
Okay,
we're going 12, 12, 11, 11, 10, 10, 9, 9, et cetera, et
Let me
cetera.
look at something real quick. Bam, 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 bam. All right, so Fudge. This is really hard, man. You're just gonna get me killed here out in the streets, man.
I thought you'd be ready for this. I thought you'd be
I
prepared.
thought I was ready too until like you gave me that list.
You didn't
Gave
know.
me that list, and that can totally. We'll go with Pedro Juan Jose.
Pedro Juan Jose, top 12. All right. I put them in there real quick for you. You want to talk about them for a second? Why you put them top 12? What you think about them? Or
I think they're a really good team, but I think as soon as they get knocked down, they're gonna fall apart. And I think they relied too much on trick strats. And I think once you get into the top 12, those trick strats aren't gonna help you too much.
Okay.
And when I say trick strats, I mean they do the smart thing where they'll try and tear apart your weakest player. But like I said, once you get this far, there's no weakest player. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, there's somebody you can kind of pick on, but compared to the rest of everybody, there's nobody you can really pick on.
Right. I mean, I agree with some of those things, but I mean, what I'll say about them is I think they're a team that they thrive on momentum. You know, you'll see when they play on land, they're going to be very loud when they're winning. If they get off to a fast start against you, they can build on that momentum and really push forward and put you in a bad spot. My only, I guess, negative about them would be that if they get down early, I think they might get down themselves. They might not be as loud as they were, as hyped. Maybe doubt themselves a little bit. They played all the amateur teams very, very good. When they have played in the 2Ks recently and even the IGL tournaments, teams they lost to have been like Echo Fox, E United. They almost beat them, but they lost to them, and teams like that. So I think as far outside those top teams, I think they can beat almost anybody else. I want to say, but it will come down to them staying composed and keeping themselves together. I also think that they can beat a lot of amateur teams by, I guess, not respecting them. Just playing their aggressive game, pushing in, using their skill. Some of those trick strats, like you mentioned. Again, when you get to teams like Echo Fox, Allegiance, or Envy, Optic, all these top tier pro teams, I think you have to respect them on some level. You know what I mean? You can't play the same way. So if they can change up their gameplay from the amateur teams to the pro teams and adapt to that, I think they can go far. But I'm going to go ahead and put them in my top 12 as well, PR. I'm going to put them at number 11. It's going to be Pedro Juan Jose, my number 11 pick. Let me sneak him in there real quick. You can go with your number 11 now as well.
So my number 11, and I'm just looking at the list of names, and I think because obviously 9th through 12 do not have an exact placing because they don't play consolation matches. So 9th through 12 is the same exact thing. So I'm not saying one team's better than the other, but my 9th through 12, I got to throw Panda in there, that Panda squad. I think they're really good. It's just I feel like the pressure might get to them come tournament time, especially since they're going to be going through a loser's bracket. I think it might get to them depending on who they play against.
Yeah, and they are pretty young, as we know. Most of them, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know Witchy maybe played out those Microsoft plans. I know Perfections went to an MLG. Who else is on their team? I don't think Zerpting's played on land before, and that's the real big thing is I think Zerpting is one of their best players.
yeah. I think as far as numbers go, he's been putting up the best numbers for the team.
He does. He puts up a huge numbers for the team, and it's usually consistent too. It's just can he carry that over?
I don't know. I mean, one can only tell when the land comes, right? All right, moving on to my 10th pick. And again, these are all pretty hard picks, but try my best here. A team which I think has a lot of skill. They could finish higher. They might not finish higher, but either way, I think they're going to beat most of the amateur teams, if not all of them. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. I'm going to say Epsilon, number 10 on my list. They played, pretty well. They've been pretty consistent, but they haven't been able to crack in through those top teams yet. So for that reason, I'm putting them at number 10.
Honestly, I could probably say the same thing right there, but I'm not going to put them as 10 simply to make Ash happy. I'm going to put Splice as 10th.
Make Ash happy.
Simply to make Ash happy.
A cop-out pick yourself. All right.
Yep. Well, I can explain after. You want me to explain my 9?
Well, when we get to 9, we'll do the whole. You can do the rundown if you want. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me just update your splice there. All right. And this for number 9, just finishing outside top 8. So this team is really, it's really sad placing. Not that you did bad, but like you're ninth. You want to be top 8. My 9th place team, which I had a lot of trouble again. I thought 8 and 9 I could switch back and forth of where they're going to finish, but I went with this team, number 9. And what I'm going to say is, PR, you might love it and you might hate it. You're definitely not going to love it because I'm making my number 9 pick. Ghost Gaming, number 9, coming in for me.
I think I'll sleep. Bye. Imagine. No, I'm kidding.
Like I said, I could put them. I could see them at 8 even, or not. But I put them at 9. I think their skill and their experience will alone put them in the top 10. I don't know about the other teams are playing though, as far as the pro teams go, and in that upper tier of Gears of War. So I'm just gonna put them at number 9 right now.
So my number 9 basically is Epsilon. I don't think Splice is going to outplace Epsilon. I don't think Epsilon's going to outplace Splice. I do think Epsilon's going to be up there. I honestly think they possibly could do better. I just think they landed in a shit pool.
So what do you put in number 9, Epsilon?
Epsilon number 9. I think they landed in a very crap pool. And the same way I feel about Splice, they landed in a very crap pool, and their placing's going to be the result of it.
All right. Do you want to do your 9 through 12 breakdown like you're going to do, you said, or you want to...
Oh, no, that was just basically it. The reason why I put Splice before Epsilon is just, make Ash happy, but they're going to place the same. It's 9 through 12th, not just 9th.
All right. Well, now we're into our top 8. We're into our pro teams. Pretty much you make pro if you finish top 8. So for my 8th place team, I'm going to go ahead and put my number 8 in there real quick. I think they're a team that a lot of people are rooting for. That's not why I have them top 8. I think their roster change recently improved them. Maybe not dramatically, but enough to make them compete a little more with that aggressive style. And I think as far as this event being open to, there's so many teams that could finish in the top 8, top 12, open bracket teams, whatever. I'm just going to put them in there. I'm going to go number 8, pro team. I'm putting Splice number 8.
I like it. Can't hate. I love Splice. Probably one of my best non-NA teams, or my favorite non-NA teams. So for my number 8, I'm looking down at my list right now, and I think it's going to be between E6 and Allegiance might play each other, because I'm pretty sure I have E6 coming second, so they're going to go against Allegiance, who I have... No, it's going to be Optic versus Allegiance. So Allegiance I have number 8. Because Allegiance is going to get second, and that means they're going to go against the Optic Gaming, which is the number 1 seed from Pool A. And I think that loss is just going to start the downward spiral for Allegiance.
All right. And they're a team who kind of has a lot to prove, too. I mean, they haven't played extremely well recently. They started off on fire with the Gears Pro Circuit, but then kind of came back with, I guess, some disappointing finishes. So they're kind of trying to prove something. You're putting them at number 8. I'm going to go here and put my pick in for my number 7. As I type it up as we speak. Didn't have it pre-done, of course. So I'm going to go ahead. My number 8 is Splice. My number 7 is going to be... ALG. I'm going to go one spot higher than you said. You put them at 8. I put them at 7. Allegiance. I think they're going to finish right in that 6 to 8 range. But I put them at 7 for now, for the prediction's sake. And that's where I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. I think it's going to be tough for them. Some of these teams are coming, are hungry. Not that they're not hungry, but it's going to be a tough road for them. We'll see if they can do it. But put them at 7.
So my number 7, I'm going to have to put Excel's team. As much as I don't want to bet against them, I think the team they play against for top 6 is going to be, I think, in my opinion, I don't know exactly who, obviously, but just looking at the list, I think for top 6, it's going to go for the opposite team. I think Excel's team is going to follow the 7th, 8th placement.
All right. Let me refresh that real quick. Boom. Hazard. They're Hazard now. They got their org Hazard. My number 6 team, it's funny enough. I mean, I'm sure you know why, as I write the team name real quick. Why is it funny? Why is my 6th team funny? Well, because... What the hell was that?
Save this rebroadcast for the chat. And people can call me out on it too. If I'm wrong, I mean, these are just opinions. You know what I mean? From what I've seen, like I haven't seen you guys played on land in how long, and half of these teams have played in land on how long. And so I can only base it off what you guys play online. So it's
Either way, I'm putting E6 number 6. I think I don't know. I put him in the 5th or 6th spot. It was tough again between 5 and 6 for me, but I think E6. They've been playing together for a long time. I know they have new roster members, but they always seem to show up and finish in that, like, the top 8 to 10 teams, or 6 to 10 teams, whatever you want to say. Eternity Affinity, we know their history for a long time. I think the motivation for Gosu Crew will put them ahead in their pool. I think they'll finish second in their pool, which might set them up for a decent bracket going into the championship bracket. And then from there, I mean, if they win a game or two, they're looking at a top 8 finish probably. So I'll put E6 at 6 for now, and we'll go with that.
all right. So I'm gonna have to agree with you. Number 6 is same. I agree. E6. Like I said, I don't. I think that the loss of Crushmo and replacing him with Phenomenon, I don't see them getting better with that trade. They might practice more. They might get quality practice, but I think come game time, I think somebody's going to need to put up those numbers. Like I know Eternity can do it. I know Wildy's a good pickup. Affinity's like the mastermind. I don't see Affinity going crazy numbers. I think Hudson's can do it all, but I don't see him putting up crazy numbers. So you're going to have to. I don't think Eternity can do it that much. I think Eternity's a really good Slayer, dropping I think 56 kills already once. I just think he needs somebody else, and I don't think Phenomenon is that somebody else.
Well, there's also I call a mini Phenomenon factor. The teams he's on usually place pretty well. Not saying he's like the sole reason for that. He is good, but for some reason, he's on that Ghost Gaming squad. Where'd they end up? 3rd? He was on that Panda squad. Where'd they end up? Top 8? So far, Phenomenon, I don't think has finished outside top 8 when he's gotten on new teams, pretty much. So
I didn't even think of that, but I think you're pretty much right. Yeah. Except for the Columbus. I think they got top 12.
Oh, yeah, true.
Vex. They lost to Splice. I remember the ole, 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 ole.
Yeah, I know. Now I remember the stream, too. Okay. So you're putting 6. Now, here's where I come in, and I make everybody just go, what are you talking about, Deluxe? Why would you pick this? Why would you say this right
Please
now?
don't say the same thing as me. Please don't say the same thing as me.
No, it's not the same as you. No.
Are you sure?
I know what yours is now, in my head thinking about it. No, it's not the same as you, and not what you're thinking in chat either, guys. My number 5, we've had upset teams every event almost. We had the Ghost Gaming, even though they were a good team. Nobody picked them to finish as high as he did. Bot Empire came out first in the came out really good in the first event. So Bot Empire was a surprise. Nobody picked. My number 5 team to go along with my pool picks. I'm gonna refresh it. I think is gonna be Hazard. I know people are gonna hate me, but again, Excel's factor alone puts him up there. Rezik, good on land. Fragout's proved himself as well. It comes down to Strafey. How good is Strafey going to play, I think? And Detox, is he going to convert himself? I haven't seen him really play too much on land in 4. I don't know if he's even played on land in 4. But regardless of that, I think, especially with Excel's getting dropped from E United, he might have a little bit of like, all right, guys, I'm going to show you what's up. I'm going to show you I'm still good. That kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not going to doubt his team. I'm going to put him at 5. I had Hazard and E6 flip-flop 5 and 6 for a while. I don't know. I wasn't too positive on it, but either way, Hazard number 5. Let's go.
Can I change my number 12?
Can you change your 12?
Yeah.
You want to put list it?
Yeah, I forgot about Strang's team. I had like a little mini list right here, and I forgot about Strang's team. I'm thinking I think I'm trying to think who is Strang's team better than on this list. I think Strang's team, is better than Pedro Juan Jose. I think they're about even with Panda, Splice, and Epsilon. Splice and Epsilon on good days. I think Splice and Epsilon are a little bit over Illicit Gaming, but I think I have to throw them in there. I think it would be an injustice to that team.
Wow. I'm gonna go ahead and now I gotta make an edit to my file. Here we go. So you're gonna put Pedro Juan Jose out, you're saying?
Yes, and put Illicit in there.
Pedro Juan Jose is gonna be sad face right now. Now they're gonna finish top 8 because you said that.
When they beat Strang's team, please find me at the event and just say I told you so, and then that's it, and just walk away. Don't beat me up, please. I'm little.
All right, boom, change it up.
Okay, so my number 5
I know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say.
This is where like
Get
people are
ready
gonna
for the
call me
flame on Twitter.
stupid, right?
Give them your at in the chat, like your Twitter at, so they can at you real quick.
Nah, they can find it to harass me.
Hold on,
but
let me before you pick it. Hold on, before you pick it, I already wrote it out. Let me see if I get it right. Okay?
All right, go ahead.
I already wrote it out. Let me put it on stream in 1 second. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Let me see.
Number 5 for PR. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Ghost 2, but go ahead.
No,
It's not Ghost 2. Okay.
I think it's
real
United actually.
United. Oh my God, even another shocker. Wow, they're gonna hate you anyway. Boom, United. The last time I picked United to finish not well, Demo added me like no respect, bro. No respect.
They're in a slump, and Demo told me last time that they're always in a slump before the event, and I think they got 4th at Mexico. And so, like, I mean, okay, yeah, you're right. You know, you were in a slump, and then you showed up. But I don't think there's enough time to get over this slump.
Well, you and I have been decently close, I guess, on our picks tonight. Not that they're right or anything, of course, but they're just our opinions. So I want to put another disclaimer out there for everybody. My top 4 teams I'm about to give you right now. I feel pretty good about top 4, but the order could very well be shuffled. They could be just completely shuffled. Top 2 I feel pretty good about though. So top 4, I have coming in 4th right now to go along somewhat with PR. I'm gonna put E United at 4th. I think again they have the skill, they have the ability to finish 3rd, to finish 2nd, and maybe even 1st. I don't know, maybe even 1st, but I can't put them ahead of Optic yet. I can't put ahead of Envy yet. And then I just think Echo Fox is my team. I'm kind of giving my 3rd pick. I think Echo Fox is my team, like my, not upset team, but I think they're going to play really well this event for various reasons. So I'll put United at 4. Obviously, Echo's going to be 3, but I'll wait till you go with your 4th.
My 4th, Echo Fox.
4th, Echo Fox?
I'll just say I think really highly of these guys. They don't do a lot of talking. They let their gameplay do the talking. I think picking up Crushmo, I don't care what their opinions on Speedy is, what these people's opinions on Speedy is. I have not seen anything like that. I'm the coach of Speedy. I don't see what these people see, so it's not a knock on Speedy. I'm just saying the way they felt about Speedy, I think the pickup of Crushmo refreshed them and gave them new life.
So what you're telling me, looking at your picks here, what you're telling me is you got Ghost Gaming somewhere in there. I know, obviously, but I'm not going to spoil that for anybody. They can figure it out in the top 3.
Somewhere top 32.
Somewhere top
no,
3.
Imagine.
So you got Echo Fox number 4. Let me go ahead and change that real quick for everybody. Top 12. Boom, boom, and boom. All right. Getting into our top 3 now. I already said my top 3, my 3rd place pretty much who I have right now. I got Echo Fox coming in 3rd. I think, they've been playing really well recently online. Not that means a whole lot when it comes to LAN. I mean, they all play well online, all these pro teams, but when you get to LAN, it's who shows up on that day. So I'm putting Echo Fox number 3. Again, Frank. Kyle's motivated, I think. Frank wants to win a lot. Crash has always been, individual who shows up as well. Combined with, I think they're going to play well. I don't know what else to say about them, honestly, other than I think they're going to put 3rd up.
All right,
Boom.
so my 3rd, and the only reason why I'm putting this team 3rd is because I can't be biased, or I won't be biased. I'm going to put Ghost Gaming 3rd just because I think they've improved since what I saw of them for Mexico City. But if I put them above Optic and Envy, I will get lynched. I will get, shanked. I will get kidnapped. No one's going to pay my ransom, so I'm stuck. So the only reason why I'm putting Ghost Gaming 3rd is because I don't want to get killed.
Yeah, we're very...
But Ghost Gaming in my heart first.
We're very... in our first. Well, obviously, we're very different on that one. I have Ghost Gaming at, 9th? You have them at 3rd. And, I like all the guys. They're cool. That's the thing that sucks about predictions. Everybody thinks, like, oh, you hate me now, like, or something dumb. But I don't know. I just think Splice, ALG, E6, Hazard, E United, Echo Fox, Hazard being my, surprise pick. I just think... all the teams are so good, and not that Ghost is not good. I think it's gonna be really hard to get there. I mean, they could play a little bit off their game one match, and it puts them way down already. You know what I mean? So yeah. I put him at 9th. Now, obviously, we know it was first and second for both of us. The question, who do you have first and who do you have second? So I'm going to update my first and second right now. And again, very close. This is not easy of what's going to happen. Obviously, you know Envy and Optic are the number 1 and 2 teams. Here's the thing. If Optic or Envy finishes third to either Echo Fox or United, I wouldn't be super shocked either. I wouldn't be, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be completely shocked. But my picks right now, based on what's been happening recently, based on the fact that people are putting Optic as the number 1. They think they're the favorite to win, right? Which is weird because Envy won the last event, and I guess Envy kind of feels like maybe they're not respected as far as being the number 1 team. People still think it's Optic. Obviously, Icy coming on board. Icy hasn't really won a championship for Gears of War 4. He's placed pretty well, but will he get at this event? I don't know. I'm going to say Optic needs one more event before they can maybe win MLG and come in first. I'm putting Envy first for 2 in a row. Optic second. Again, they could be a flip-flop for all I know, but that's my picks, my predictions. I think it's going to be it.
So I have Gosu first
You're
and
so
Envy
dumb.
second. No, but I have Optic first, Envy second, and I honestly think you could say what you want about Icy meshing with this team. I think they're past that. I think they're Optic gaming again. You know what I mean? Yeah, rest in peace, Lava. You know, I have mad respect for Lava. You know, Funky fan for life. Started from the bottom. Lava's the true story. I don't really care. But as for Optic versus Envy, I just don't see Envy keeping up anymore. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be close.
They
I
played
think it's
close,
going to be.
though, even
I think it's be
online
7-3,
recently.
7-5s. But I think come tournament time, you're going to see this Optic like a new Optic that is just going to take it 100% serious. Because I don't know if any people actually notice this. These Optic guys play phone games on their phone during tournaments.
But how can you say,
they're not?
Let me go this too. Now we're going to rebuttal. How can you say the same exact Envy roster versus 4 out of 5 Optic coming in one event apart? That same Envy roster beat Optic, which nobody took a championship off Optic that whole time. They're coming in with the same roster, the same probably mentality, I think the same practice schedule or grinding, whatever you want to say. And Envy and Optic have been number 1 and 2 for a long time. So, I just think if one of those two teams changes somebody on the roster, the next event they have, I think it's going to take at least one event to get accustomed to, on land with each other maybe. I don't know. That's my opinion.
The Optic's just going to come in and drop 2 maps the entire tournament. And those 2 maps are going to be one to Ghost Gaming, one to Envy.
One to Ghost Gaming. Wait, what? Say it again?
Yeah. One to Ghost Gaming, one to Envy. Those are the 2 map Optics losing all tournament.
Oh, man, you're going with the bold
No,
prediction.
Here's the I think Optic got better, right? I think the addition from Icy, I think Optic literally got better. They added a whole new dynamic where I'm not saying Lava can't slay, because if you guys actually watch the first tournament 250 between Optic and United when Lava first got on the team, Lava put that team on his back. He slayed everything in his path, and I'm not saying it was one person's reason why they lost, but it was not Lava's fault why they lost.
Right.
On the other hand, of Envy, I think they got better, but I don't think they got better. You know what I mean? Where you can really oh my god, this Optic team's nasty. When you're thinking Envy, it's man, it's Envy. They are good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never see Envy fight 1v1s. Even if players think it's a 1v1, there's somebody crossing for them. There's somebody flanking. Fran has a tight ship. He makes sure to hold it together, and then it's just all of that. I just don't think they got exponentially better compared to Optic, who, literally now 30 kills, 40, 50, 60 kills. Any one of these players could drop it. Any one of these players can use the M-bar. Any one of these players can use literally any weapon, and it's scary to go against. And I'm not saying not everyone at MB can, but to this level that Optic Gaming has, I don't think anybody's really going to beat them in this tournament.
Let me go
except
back.
for Ghost
Bring it back
Gaming.
to the other screen now, the cam screen real quick. So let me bring in that actual image real quick while we can have this on our screen. Let me go to media file. 1 second, be right with you guys. Right with you. We'll get back to what we're saying. I got more to say, PR. I'm not done quite yet. I like a little rebuttal,
Yeah.
like a little competition here. Let me bring this up. Put it in there. Boom. All right. So those are our picks, pretty much. Back to the Envy Optic thing though, and I like Icy. Did my show recently, my For the Bread show. It has always been really nice to me.
Hold on real quick. Somebody said they got illicit over Ghosty Crew when 90% of us have no idea like who's on it. But like, so you don't know who's on the team, and you're saying stuff about the prediction. Illicit's Strain Gang.
I have the
For
roster
people that
if you
don't
want.
know.
I have the
Yeah.
roster on right here, guys. If you want to see the roster.
I don't mind people bashing my predictions. I really don't care. It's my opinion. I don't care. Just if have like a little bit of logic behind it. You know what I mean? And if you don't agree with my predictions, give me a reason why. Not just because God Plays is better than freaking Excels or that's just the. I'm not saying God Plays is better than Excels. I'm just saying God Plays or Excel's got dropped. So that God Plays, when you read a Twitch chat, oh God Plays is this. God Plays is an amazing player. But I think Excel is a little bit smarter. So like when Twitch chat says all this stuff about that, it's like they don't really have reason.
So
I didn't know his strength team. No, it's fine.
let me run down the
predictions are common sense. Exactly.
The Optic Envy thing real quick. Touch on it at the end. I said, so Icy's always been a nice guy.
All right, can you
I
switch
like
Ghost to first and then move Envy down and Optic down?
No, you're done. You're
I'm
locked
just
in now. But it's almost like I go with like historical things too. Like Icy hasn't won in Gears 4 yet. That's true, right?
Yep.
So he hasn't won in Gears 4 yet. So when facing Envy, not that I think Optic definitely is a little bit improved or the same as they were with Lava, because I think Lava is still really good. But again, Envy being the top 2 team with Optic, Icy not having won yet, just got on the team during this little break from last event. The same Envy team, and I know it's got to bug them that not everybody, but like the majority are probably picking Optic to finish 1 and Envy 2. If you had to poll the community, I think it's Optic 1, Envy 2. But I think that might upset Envy a little bit because they just won last event. If we're going by boxing rules or wrestling rules, they're the champs. They won last event. They got the belt. Like, you got to come and take the belt off me. I'm on top of the ladder. I'm holding it in my hand. And I think that might be that little disrespect I guess they might be getting might be enough to fuel them. I mean, Solars, I don't want to talk about Solars is crazy. I mean, might be the best player in the game. He's debatable the best player in the game. If you watch him at all recently, or even the past few weeks, few events, whatever it may be, maybe the best in the game. Prey's got a monster. Fran brings something to the team that not a lot of teams have. He's the leader of the team, the shot caller, strats, whatever it may be. But he's also really good in his own right. He's not a crazy wall bounce player or a crazy God Plays movement, but his shots are consistent. They're timed properly. He makes smart decisions all the time. We look at not that EU United is not smart, but you look at that team, the individual skill they have. I don't think they have a leader like Fran. They don't have somebody who can settle him down or call the shots. Demo's kind of trying to take that role, I think, but I think he's better off in a role where he can just play his game and do the Demo thing and and put up the numbers pretty much. So we'll see. Those are my thoughts on Envy versus Optic. Again, the event will play out pretty much.
You said Solar's one of the best players in the game.
Solar's debatable number 1 right now.
Better than Mental?
Well, that's who it's. I think it's between I think Mental and Solars. I think are 1 and 2.
1A, 2,
debatable.
1A, 1B.
Yeah, debatable right now.
Okay.
That's my thought, but I don't know what you think.
I think it's hard to say who's number 1. So, but I mean, this is probably another stream, a whole nother set of content for you guys. Is best players and individual, but like it's very hard to say who's number 1. But I think like Mental, Explosive. I'll go with Solars. I think when it comes to pure slaying, I'd even throw Speedy God Plays in there. There's too many people that are just like.
And it's also saying like when you look at Mental and like Solars, even I don't think those guys they're not even trying a lot of times. They're not even like when they're playing online. Sometimes they're like, oh, let me go like 20% and drop like 40 kills. So like
they're all playing Words with Friends while they're streaming.
Yeah, if they played both at their like top potential and put all their heart into it or all their whatever into it, it's a tough call. I think. I mean, most people will say Mental for pure numbers or stats wise, but I think it's tough still. I think it's tough.
Yep. Like this whole thing has been tough. Like thinking off the top of your head, anybody can really just predict stuff. But if you really like break it down and actually watch how these teams match up against each other, it's not as easy as it looks. Especially you're thinking about online, and then now you got to think about how these teams perform when it matters. Some of these teams perform better, some of these teams perform worse.
Yeah, and people are saying Fran underrated. Yeah, I gave Fran his praise already. I think he's in the top as well for for his
I think France too consistent.
for his
He
style.
is
Like he has
really
his own style of
consistent.
gameplay. And I mean,
Yep.
he like nobody plays like him. I mean, I don't know if they should probably start trying to, maybe, but he does his thing, and it always seems to work out for him. So there's a lot of players. We can talk about the players in the top tier list all we want, all day probably. It's a whole other stream though, pretty much. So if you want to run down your top 12, you don't have to talk about every single team, but like just give a final thoughts on what's going to happen and your thoughts on the teams or whatever it may be before we got to get out of here.
I think my top 12 isn't super solid. I think teams can upset, and that includes Vitality even breaking in. Um, my 8 through I actually think like what was it 8 9 or 8 7 6 5. I think that can literally just almost jumble around. Aside from I think E United, and I think E United and Echo can even jumble. But I think I'll keep these predictions except for Ghost Gaming first. Besides that, I think it's pretty like if you look at these teams on paper rather than thinking who's the underdog and who's not. If you look at them on paper, like that's how gameplay or games should play out. You know what I mean? If people could say MB right now, like you said, boxing, they are the champions. They have the title belt right now. But if you look at it on paper, Optics just better.
All right. Well, my top 12, you see it right there, pretty much. Gosu and Illicit. I have Illicit at 12, but like so I guess Gosu and Grim, I'll say maybe. Those are teams I think could appear on here at the bottom. So like maybe it could be Gosu 12 maybe, or I think more likely Gosu 12 if I was to change one of these teams out. Pedro Juan Jose, formerly Warpath, like I said, they won the Cali Land. They played against all the amateur teams. They've pretty much beaten every amateur team. They've only lost to pro teams pretty much. They are a little scary though. If they get down early or if they get down themselves, I don't know. I mean, top 12 is a pretty good placing for them, I think. So that's kind of a little question mark. Will they show up on game day? Will they bring the same fire I saw in California, or will they not? Epsilon, pretty consistent. Again, they're just having trouble with some of the top tier teams. I think might be a little bit much to handle. Ghost Gaming, your team. My apologies, PR. I'm sorry. Not that I don't think they can finish from.
I'll make sure they all send you a tweet.
I think from 6 to 9, they could end up somewhere in there, but just off my thoughts, E6, ALG, Splice, I think they are just going to play a little better. And then Splice, top 8, we know they're going to have a lot of people rooting for them, as well as their gameplay, that aggressive style. They're another team. If you talk to Waldo at all, he thinks that they're a team that does not always start well. They lose a lot of initials, and that they come back later on in the rounds, but that could be a problem for them going as well. E6, I think, has been pretty consistently finishing in that 6 to 10 to 12 range, I guess. And I think they've been playing pretty well recently. Hazard, my upset shocker team, I guess, finishing top 5 with Excels, Rezik, Frag Out, Detox, and Strafey. Again, they could be maybe look like a genius right now, or they could be out of top 12. I don't know. But I think they're going to show up with Excels. I think they're going to be hungry and play for each other. United, Equifox, Optic, Envy, these 4 teams, again, they could be jumbled around. Optic and Envy, very hard pick of first and second. I'm just going based off of the recent history, based off my thoughts on just what's happening at LAN recently, and then, the players I've been watching. So either way, those are my top 12, and I feel pretty good about top 4. My top 4 I'm pretty solid on. So if you're gonna harass me about anything, like on Twitter or DMs or on here or whatever, I mean, my top 4 I think is pretty solid. Outside of that, I think they're educated picks, but not set in stone. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's pretty much it for me. PR, anything else you got to say to people out there? I'm going to give them your Twitter, your Twitch, whatever you want. Tell them about you'll be in Atlantic City, how to meet you.
I mean, if you see me, just go ahead and say what's up. I'm a very open, fun-loving person, so I'm very sarcastic and I troll a lot. So just make sure. If you think I'm a certain way because of online, meet me in person. You'll see I'm just a fun-loving person, and don't be afraid if you guys are. I don't know if anybody is. If you don't like me, hats off to you. And follow me on Twitter, Jacob_MVPR. That's where you can send all hate mail, harassment, and everything. I don't really use it too much at all anymore, so I'll eventually see it tomorrow, the next day, next year. Stream PR_X, and then youtube.com/itspr1. You guys can check that my personal predictions video out on there. I talk basically only pool play and the open teams, and you see why I have some of these teams placing the way they do.
Yeah, and like again, this is gonna be for me. Like I have off the whole weekend, thank God. I'm gonna have Gears of War on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you watch wrestling out there, folks, we have WrestleMania coming up too. So we got a big manly weekend, pretty much for everybody out there. I'm excited for open bracket to see who comes out because there's a lot of killers in there and a lot of open teams I think have a shot at really making some waves in the pools and championship bracket. So, I mean, it's for us to get this completely right, of course, it's going to be impossible. But either way, we're going to see you next time. Deluxe PR signing out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you guys followed or did anything like that, my notifications are off, so thank you very much. I'll hit you up later. We'll see you this weekend. Let me know what you think on Twitter or DMs or whatever. No harassment, please, or whatever you want. Go ahead and do. I'll block you if I have to. That's right, folks. We'll be out of here. We'll see you next time. Get ready.
Host somebody. Host somebody. Let the stream choose. Who are we hosting?
Who are we hosting? Let's go. Let's get it. Well, you want to do a giveaway? Should we do a giveaway too?
I don't have anything to give away.
I'll
give away a hug at the event if you're there. I love hugs. No homo.
All right, who we hosting? Stream. Who we hosting? Let me show me your
who
love.
Hosting? Hopefully somebody that's scrimming that is competitive. We got to support our competitive community.
I'm gonna make the choice right now. Okay.
Monkey is godlike. Looks familiar.
I actually hosted him recently, so let me see.
Okay, so we got to pick something else.
Yeah. No, I didn't have a crazy amount of viewers, but you know what? Not many people are scrimming right now because most people are on their way to Atlantic City. We gotta go way down the list here. We gotta find somebody with one viewer. One viewer.
We're going. What about the zeros? Somebody who's scrimming. Can the stream help out or?
They can help out. Give me your ideas. Go ahead.
NAPCO.
Oh, baby.
This guy. No, we found it. Tell me, do you have the same name as I do?
Jibbery McLeod?
Yeah, we are on the same page.
Fucking right we
Same
are.
page today.
Okay, look, we're going to go in and we're going to blow up Jibbery. He is actually in the competitive community. Going to blow him up real
I
quick.
met him in person. He's actually tuning into your stream.
Don't tell him we're coming, guys. Shh. Don't tell him we're coming, all right? Host? How do you spell it even now? Right.
He makes me want to grow a beard, but I can't.
Going in. JIPPEROYMCCLOUD. All right, folks. We'll see you next time. Gears of War Atlantic City. Tune in. Tweet me your picks. Tweet me your thoughts. If you don't do that, then I can't even listen to you. We're out of here. Jippery.
Adios.
Let's go. And we're off.
Oh, thank God.